Hi, welcome to your midweek minutes for Module 15. And this week we're talking about employee health and safety. And what I wanted to do was to kind of review some of the fundamental functions of HR and address how they're related to HR promoting health and safety in the workplace. And so let's start with employee selection. When we focus on selection, we're focusing on finding people who can be successful at executing the job. And of course, that is one of our primary considerations. But we also need to look at whether a person will be safe in the workplace and whether they will not cause harm to others. And we need to particularly pay attention to this when we have a clientele for the business that might be vulnerable, and that we might have some extra consideration about the people that we employ and how they interact with the customers or clients of an organization. So, when we are going or sending our employees into people's homes, when they're interacting with children or people with severe disabilities, it's often the case that we should be doing background checks and looking for criminal background before extending a hiring offer. And there is a movement recently to stop asking about arrests and criminal convictions in the application process, and I'm not necessarily opposed to that. But what I'm saying here is that especially when we have a person who is applying for a job that is really connected to potential criminal behavior, that it is appropriate to do a background check before making a hiring offer. And in fact, if we don't do that, there is liability incurred by the organization in terms of negligent hiring. Now, probably the area that we have the most influence over health and safety is in the areas of training. And much of that training is through orientation. Many times at the beginning, we need to pay attention to, are we doing compliance training? And some of this compliance training needs to be regularly updated. And so compliance training could involve anything from the handling of dangerous chemicals to how to respond to harassment. And it's important that the organization has this type of training. That's why it's compliance training, because it's mandatory training that people have to comply with. But beyond that, if we look at other safety issues, like how to respond to a crisis, whether it be a natural disaster or perhaps an active shooter in the workplace, these are areas where we really should have regular training and perhaps take an overtraining approach, because when people are under stress, their first reactions may not be the right reactions. But through overtraining, we can prepare people to act in the correct way even when they're under stress. Finally, how HR helps to manage and promote the performance management process can have a lot to do with employee health and safety. Of course, we think of when employees misbehave, perhaps becoming verbally aggressive. That's an appropriate time for progressive discipline, so that employees are put on notice and that they understand that that won't be tolerated, and to keep an escalation of aggression from occurring. That's very important, and HR has to be part of promoting that process. On the other end of the spectrum, though, really HR should be talking to managers about how to manage their overachievers, and sometimes we need to sit down with overachievers and talk about how we appreciate their hard work, and sometimes they have to be encouraged to take some time off, to recuperate, to recover, to use the vacation that they have earned. And employees need to get the message that they're valued, but that they're valued when they're 100% and when they're happy in their whole life. And that's not always a message that people receive in a performance management context. And I think it's very important. Well, we've come to the end of a semester, and I really enjoyed seeing all the best practices presentations. Just want to remind you that you should be submitting your teamwork ratings, and that's done on Blackboard in the assignments area in the best practices folder, where there's a link that says submit teamwork ratings here. So please do that. Again, you've got a few assignments still outstanding. Please attend to those, whether it's the exam or the discussion board. Again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you.